Welcome back, guys, to another Beyond All Reason casting episode. This is my alter ego, evil person. No, I'm joking. I'm in a funky mood today. Day 4 of the cut. Not really going too well, to be honest. But I haven't really been eating very well over the past few days anyway, so we're completely fine. And I haven't been going gym, so that'll be I haven't been going gym because it's the weekend. I take 2 rest days because I'm a cat of the other sort, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's get back to the game. So today we've got C3BO versus Snailkick. Now on a map that I think we have seen before on this channel, at least I've recorded a video on this map. Whether it made it to the channel or not, I'm not entirely sure. In my most recent memory. Now we've got an Armada versus Armada battle here. Now this map is quite big, so we're going to see a lot of travel time for units here, but we actually haven't gotten even a bot lab from Snailkick yet. He went to get a 4th metal extractor before popping one down. Not really sure why he's done that. He is ahead on the metal now, though. And that will give him a little bit of an edge in the kind of beginning parts of the game. You never really run out of metal. The metal's not really too much of a problem. But I guess it now allows his commander to get these other nodes, rather than using a constructor to do that. And maybe he can send a constructor to build some energy. Let's just do a little lightning bolt. Oh god, what was that? Oh, yeah. It looks like this tick is going to be able to take out this metal extractor. The range from the laser turret can't hit behind, but as soon as it's dead, there it goes. The wreck got destroyed by the laser turret. That's why the wreck disappeared and then was able to shoot the tick. It looks like we've got bots from C3BO and vehicles from Snail. Now, in my personal opinion, again, take my opinion with a grain of salt, bots are a lot better. But on this map, since it's very, very flat, as you can see, I don't even need to turn on the Vi map for you to see that, but vehicles might have the advantage. Now, Snailkick doesn't even have enough energy to produce these extra metal extractors, and C3BO now has a constructor advantage. Snailkick kind of behind, really, in terms of the economy of the game. Now, if you see top right, we've got the metal a second, energy a second, metal produced, energy produced, and army value. Now, 1,000 of that army value is going to be in the commander. Well, sorry, 2,700 of it is going to be the commander. So early, those numbers are going to be pretty inaccurate. But no need to worry, as I will do some explaining for you. Now this rover is going to manage to get around here. Now no LLTs in C3BO's base. Looks like he is able to get a pawn out just in time. That metal extractor, if targeted, is going to be taken out, but it looks like he just was closer to the solar. The units in this game target the closer thing. So whether that be a unit, a building, or whatever, they fire when they can. Now we've got a couple blitzes coming out here from Snailkick. Getting his 2nd constructor here. Now he's rebuilding that metal extractor that was taken. That's going to take up some time, and C3BO now has the advantage in the economy. So really, I don't think I think it might have been a mistake sending his commander down here to get the metal extractors. But that's completely fine. Everyone makes mistakes. Now this constructor is going to die, or not. It would have been worth definitely to take that out. Looks like he's got a blitz back here to deal with that. Now these windmills are going to be taken out here. Now keep saying now, but every thing that kind of happens in this game, no matter if it's kind of seems minimal, it's actually quite a lot. These attention, so there's a metric called APM, which is actions per minute, and so the attention it requires from these players to redo all of this construction means they're losing time in game to get their economy ahead of them. Looks like we got a double stack. There's a turret there. So really, although it seems minimal, it's actually quite a lot, and especially at this kind of level, really matters about those seconds. Looks like a pawn just tried to get into the base there. Now this pawn on its last legs is going to try and hold the line. 3 LLTs being placed over there. It looks like a snail kick is able to. Looks kind of like he's taking over the middle here. And the right side of the map, with C3BO dominating the left side of the map. Now, C3BO's commander is on the right, so this domination on the left is going to weaken. And he's going to be more strong on the right, especially when he sends his units forwards now. Vehicles in this game are better than bots, numbers-wise. In terms of speed, not in terms of blitzes. Blitzes do the same amount of damage, and very similar. So we've got DPS 90 here, DPS 90 in the range, but it's just the speed. 87 over here, 99 over here. That is the real difference in this early game sort of damage ability. Now the constructors do have more build power. 90 build power over here, and 80 build power over here. So small differences, but they will add up in the long run. Now, most players will transition into vehicles for the later game, especially for the late mid game. Now, Snail Kick has its commander in the middle. Now, these metal extractors here, although it does look like there's quite a few, these are only worth 0.5. So, not even worth one of these. Or one of these. So, taking the middle here isn't super advantageous. However, it does allow him kind of to be able to position himself on top of these ridges to able to shoot down and possibly branch out into C3BO's base. So now, instead of C3BO having to worry about this and this, he also has to worry about the middle. So we could see an advantage come out here from Snail. Both players' economies are going pretty well at the moment. Now C3PO's commander pushing to the right. Only 2 LLTs to defend this. But there are some pawns on the right here. It looks like C3PO does have domination on the map other than the middle. Looks like he's not really interested in taking that. These small little skirmishes. Now every unit you see with a halo on top, just say that again, every unit with a halo on top has been revived, which is a big part of this game, by one of these things. Now, one of the advantages of going bots over vehicles is your access to this, as vehicles don't have that. But look, now you can see C3BO transitioning to vehicles. Looks like he did actually just build a mine layer. Now these are a defensive troop. As you can see, he's just going to build a couple mines along here. Not very many. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I guess we will find out. Now, guys, if you are liking the video, please feel free to drop a like. I'd really appreciate a comment, any suggestions you have for the channel. And I think we just saw a minesweeper get blown up by mines. Not entirely sure though. Right, this outpost here. From Snail Kick, and Juno does go down. His pawns are not going to be enough to take that, but we have got a pawn push into the base. Now, It's going to do some damage, but not enough. It just gets zapped up, reclaimed by the construction town. Now both players investing in mine technology. An unfinished laser turret here. The constructor queued to continue building metal extractors on the side of Snailkick. Now, although Snailkick has the middle, these are definitely more valuable. If you can control both of these, he's going to be on top, and he is on top at the moment. In terms of metal and energy. It looks like he has a couple more solars than Snailkick, so he's going to feel less of an impact from the wind. That'll be kind of the reason for the disparity in energy. Now, Snailkick can just walk into the base here, and the commander able to kind of just do whatever he wants at this point in the game. Do whatever they want at this game. At this point in the game. Especially with no units to back these up. Now, Snailkick really is lacking in terms of energy. And that'll be why C3BO did get that. Those solar panels. It's the wind. It's actually pretty good for Snailkick right now. He still just does not have enough. Now we are going to see a tier 2 come out here sometime soon. Looks like C3BO has gotten rid of both of his producers and going for air. Interestingly, got 2 gunships coming out from Snailkick here. Still has his vehicle lab though. Like C3BO is going for air though. Here we're going to see some fighters to deal with these gunships, as we have no anti-air currently. Now Snailkick kind of encircling this position on the left. In terms of the map, it looks like C3PO is kind of losing. Now Stout's a very strong, heavy health unit, able to easily deal with blitzes. If we can see some sort of push here from Snailkick, it'll easily eliminate all of this. So C3PO kind of just giving up on that side of the map, hoping that he can just get a little bit of metal out of this metal extractor. Looks like he might. 1, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we got about 10 metal. My counting there was awful. Looks like we got about 10 metal from that. Not worth, as a metal extractor costs 50. Got a little bit of a bug here. There we go. Now C3PO's commander continuing to build laser turrets. C3PO still with the advantage in terms of economy. Now we're seeing some dogfights here. Mine lab going to be taken out. Now everything in this game can shoot air. So the anti-air is going to be the best weapon against those, most effective. Now these Stouts kind of dealing with some outposts here by C3BO. Now Snailkick has detected some units coming in and is trying to back off, but those Stouts are definitely going to die. The Brewers commander having to retreat. Now we're getting a flank here from Snailkick. Now the most important part of this game is obviously your commander. However, the second most important thing is your main base, your main operative base. And if that is taken out, it's pretty much going to be game over, as Snailkick will just be able to outscale. Now, obviously, C3PO got rid of his land factories and invested in air. Now reversing that, getting rid of his air factory and going into land, going into vehicles. It's a very kind of interesting gameplay here. And it's not working out. C3BO luckily had some stouts left to defend the base. Now we've got a missile truck, which is a form of anti-air. However, can also shoot ground troops. As you can see. Now, we're getting a tier 2 here from snailkick. He's built an amphibious construction vehicle, which is not really going to be very helpful. That is very strange. Seen some very strange things in this game. Anyway, this tier 2 constructor is now going to allow him to exponentially increase his economy. More than exponential. I've got some Junos firing here. Junos are kind of a very high damage glass cannon type of truck. Unlike the missile truck, which is actually fairly high health and has multiple capabilities. Not as much health as the Juno, I don't think, actually. Let's have a look. Where's the health? Am I silly? Oh, there we go, max HP, 820. And where's the Juno? Have we got any Junos? No, it doesn't look like it. Well, I imagine the Juno has something similar. Alright. Now we're seeing some lines form. Snailkick not taking the advantage that he has over the map to push into C3BO's base, but taking it to tech up and outscale his opponent. Now we're getting some push here from C3BO. Snailkick does have the radar to see this. He starts... Oh, there's the Juno. 1080, so it does have a little bit more health than the missile truck. It doesn't have that anti-air capability. The groundhog here. Laying down some mines. Now, in terms of C3BO, it looks like he's just teched up to tier 2 as well. He would have done it a little bit ago. So we see we've already got first constructor. Now, Bulls, the heavy assault tank, is going to be very effective. Oh, my goodness. Where'd this Jaguar come from? Well, it got evaporated. But this Bull almost stepped on a mine, almost rolled onto a mine, is now probably going to roll onto it. Nope. Just avoiding that tick going to explode instead. Now these ticks are probably just being used to get rid of these mines. Wonderful. And we've got a Jaguar here as well. Jaguars are the lightning tank. Not. Luckily just got blown up by another mine there, it looks like. 4 snailkick. Another one blown up by a tick. Very good use of the units here to get rid of these mines. Now we're going to see mass production of vehicles here. We're not getting anything from snailkick. It's still got tier 1 units. Some Jaguars. Not producing anything else. Now this looks like a mistake. There's plenty of metal. There we go. Wonderful. Producing those units. He could have been waiting for a chance to be able to counter these Bulls. Now, Bulls will be able to deal with these Jaguars pretty effectively. They do not compare. They may be called, both be called tanks, but one of them is very heavy. Actually, that's a Zara, isn't it? But one of them's heavy, at least. Not very heavy. Alright. Anti-radar coming out now. So that is going to limit C3BO's vision. Now, vision is probably one of the most important things in this game, as with most RCSs. Knowing what your opponent is doing. Now this anti-radar is going to be limiting that for C3BO. And this bull's just able to push up, as they're so much stronger than Jaguars. Alright, we've got some Mausers. You know what? I'm going to call them Bowsers. We've got some Bowsers coming in with their artillery. Now, they're fairly long, I'd say medium range artillery, to be fair. No, I guess that is quite long. They're fairly long range artillery. Mobile artillery. So we'll be able to deal with the balls in the base, but these balls in this part of the base are not being dealt with. They will be repositioned. This Jaguar can be taken out by these tier 1 units. As you can see, the Janus doing a bit of work there. Absolutely obliterating that Jaguar. Oops. Now, we're going to see a push into this part of the base here. Not anything really to defend it. Snailkick's commander moving up. These are going to have to be retreated. A Juno coming out to get rid of any swarm or radar. It looks like it did miss pretty much everything. We have got a Starlight here. Pretty much, which we can check. So it does 2,500 damage. And these have 5,400 health, so 3 shots, and that thing is dead. Now some ticks here being lined up to get rid of any mines that could be placed. Then snakes and ladders over here. Another Juno coming out, getting rid of this radar here. That's going to limit Snailkick's vision for a possible push from C3BO. Now tick spam just coming out now. Looks like we are going to get a tier 2 air factory. Now, we are yet to see. We've got one fusion here on the side of Snailkick. However, we've got 2 on the side of C3BO, and they're able to get a little bit of an advantage on energy. Getting the 3rd now. Now these bulls are moving up, which poses potential risk to C3BO, especially this constructor. And C3BO really doesn't want to allow that to happen. There's so much resource and time for this constructor to travel down here. Really doesn't want to allow that to happen, so sending in the Starlight is taken out. The Starlight can't shoot behind it while it's retreating. It's like all of these forces are going to be killed. There are enough bulls here and a Starlight to take these out. It looks like Snailkick kind of paying attention to other things and lining his troops up to their deaths. Again, it's down to the actions per minute. Now, a bull sneaking in to Snailkick's base, another one as well. Now that pit bull isn't going to be enough to kill. It looks like it is actually, as he wasn't focusing it down. However, now this bull is going to do a lot of damage. Now you see it just walking through those walls there. One of my favorite units in the game. Most tier 2 units can walk through walls. Now if he blows up these, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Juno being fired. Some tier 2 gunships coming out from that air factory. Now no anti-air, except a couple fighters. Now gunships can only shoot at the ground. That will eventually being taken out, probably evaporated by the construction turrets. Now saving these gunships isn't going to do any work, as Snailkick will be able to just react in time and build fighters. Now tier 2 fighters are much, much better than tier 1. So we'll have a look and see what happens in terms of their superiority here. Seeing a Tech 2 air constructor coming out with a conga of battle engineers. And it looks like these gunships are going to be taken out by the Tier 1 fighters. Alright, no problem at all. Okay, in terms of C3BO's base, we're getting a Tier 3 gantry. He's abandoning the Tier 2, taking that risk, and instead investing in the Tier 3 gantry. That's going to be fun. We're going to see some big explosions, big boys. Juno coming out to get rid of that radar, as you can see. See, also getting rid of anti-radar again. Oh my goodness. Well, these Tier 2 fighters are going to allow C3BO to have air superiority. We're now getting a Tier 2 air factory from Snailkick. This gantry has 30 seconds left. His armies of bulls. Now, it does have enough here to slowly defend this. And probably gonna get this Tier 3 up in time. This whole middle section being taken out. Now, the Tier 3 is down. We're looking like a Razorback first. These bulls would effectively be able to take out a Razorback. They're no joke, but it's that many bulls. It's not going to be able to just win by itself. This gunship's doing bits of work here. But now we've got the Tier 2 fighters coming out from Snail. Looks like he's also doing a push with the Bowsers on the right side. Battle mech's backing off to assist the gantry, I imagine. Looks like it's an issue with build power, and oh no, it looks like it's an issue with energy. That's why he's popping down another fusion reactor. And these bulls being slowly held off. Looks like we are getting an EMP bomber. To stun these bulls. And that is going to allow Snailkick. What a beautiful move. What a beautiful set of micro that he's got on him. Building those bombers now. We're seeing the Tier 3 unit. This Snailkick aware will be soon from the perimeter camera. Tier 3 unit detected. EMP able to stun these bulls for 20 seconds. That's why air superiority is so important in this game. A lot of effectiveness can come out from that Tier 2 factory. This Razorback, very mobile battle mech. There we go, look, we've got the advantage of the high ground here. But he's not able to see the Razorback coming in. We'll be able to effectively dispatch pretty much everything in here. Another one coming out. Now this is a weapon he has to use very carefully, because if it dies, Snailkick is likely to just revive it, and send it straight back at C3BO. Now Espirity going to the stead of Snailkick. Sorry, my throat's a bit dry. Got Island Spring. Here today with us. Now 2 Razorbacks will be able to destroy these bulls. Razorbacks normally used for spam. But they are very effective, as they are quite fast as well. So easily maneuverable. There we go. And 3 of those. This one might go down, actually. He's trying to send it back. So it isn't able to be revived. Looks like he's going to send it to its death, though. This one going in down instead. Now look. Lazarus is already here, prepared for the revival of these Razorbacks. Now, are we seeing a Tier 3 from Snailkick. It looks like Snailkick's not too bothered by the tier 3. He's sticking to his tier 2. We've got an anti-radar going to his death here. No! Here we go. Let's get back to the battlefield. First Razorback going down. Now if he can protect these Lazarus and effectively revive that... Yeah, he does have a bot lab. He's currently just making ticks. Would like to see a Lazarus here soon. Got one there. Now Starlight's coming out. It looks like Razorbacks only have about 13,000 health. Only. I say only. These Starlights will be able to deal with it. It's just whether Snailkick has enough energy. Energy problems again. He only has 3 fusions compared to the... sorry, the 4, the 5 that C3BOs has. Now I want to see these bulls moved up and a revival from the Razorback. Is Snailkick going to be able to defend this? Doesn't look like he has many units left. What has he been doing with all of his metal? Jaguar's in his base. He's getting completely overwhelmed. Got some gunships coming out. This is very good timing. Gonna need some snipers here. Some Razorbacks coming in at the top. It looks like we are getting the revival. Looks like a reclaim instead, actually. From C3BO. Now these Razorbacks, if they're allowed any further into this base, it could be the game over. As soon as they get those construction turrets, as soon as they get those energy transfers, it looks like it could be game. And once that explodes, 3. Oh no, not a 3. A 3 and a 2. And it just died! Oh my goodness, but we've now got air superiority from C3BO. C3BO is now saying GG's. Actually surrendering the game. Not having enough resources there.
Battle ended.
Actually, no. I'm going to get back to you on this one. Give me one moment. Alright guys, it's been a couple days. I've kind of tried to get C3BO's opinion on this, but he's airing me on Discord. Not his fault, probably just not seeing it. But I'm going to give you my own interpretation of the results here, in the sense that, yeah, we're just going to do a quick rundown. So I'm going to put this in half speed, I'm just going to let it play. So we've got C3BO's Razorback coming in here. Now we've got a couple Starlights coming up here. We've also got this Razorback coming in as well. Now, C3BO attempts to kill the construction turrets so that the Razorback doesn't die, as you can see. And then he tries to refocus onto these back construction turrets, but then unfortunately he could have killed this, which would have destroyed a couple of these. It gets sniped by the Starlight here, so that split second decision making was very important. Now this Razorback here just getting out of range here, but these Starlights are going to be able to kill that, so there's no threat to Snailkick's base other than these units. But we've got another Starlight here coming out, so those are definitely going to die. So I'm just pausing the game here. Now, we are seeing some Razorbacks coming out, but the income is just not enough for C3BO to keep pumping these Razorbacks out. So he does have another one coming out, but it's not going to be able to kill all of these units over here, especially since he's got Mausers and he's got 4 Starlights coming here. Now, he could probably reclaim this much stuff and maybe, just maybe, get out in time some tier 2 units, but it's very slim. Now, he is trying to revive some tier 2s over here. So, basically, what happened was, unfortunately, C3BO didn't get that split second result that we needed to destroy this reactor, meaning that now Snailkick has the advantage in terms of units over here. Now, what C3BO can see is not much, but he realizes that these Starlights are going to kill this Razorback. There's no units on the map for C3BO to defend the space other than the Razorback here. which will then be killed by the units that are here, that will push up and attack. So he doesn't really have too much of a choice. Now, he is just building fighters at the moment, but again, his production just isn't enough to keep pumping out these units. Now, he does have 2 Mausers, but then, again, they're just going to be killed by these Starlights. So there is a very, very slim chance C3BO can bring this back, and I think that's why he decided to resign this one. But let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you for watching the video. I'll be releasing another video soon. All right.